Hey everybody, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. It's Reba. Yeah, I was like, what's my name again? But anyways, so we're out here in the garden every day, you guys. I come out and I look at my plants. And I've kind of been doing that with you guys, bringing you along as I look at my plants, see how they're developing, seeing how everything is coming along. And right here you can see my thundercloud elderberry, and it is looking really great. I'm gonna have close to 20 or more flower heads on this plant this year. And I didn't show you guys, I don't believe I showed you guys last year in the fall how I trimmed my gooseberry plants. But what I did, I'll show you guys, is I kind of used my pruners to just kind of show you. I pruned so that I would leave like 3 to 4 node sections for the flowers and branches to develop in the spring and summer months. And I brought them back closer to the main branches, especially since I'm growing them in containers. For me, I just feel like it kind of keeps the bush a little bit more compact. Now, I will allow it to get to anywhere between 3 to I'm wanting to say they can get between 3 to 6 feet tall. However, I'm going to try to keep them about my height, which is closer to 5 feet tall. I don't really want them to get too much taller than that. But as you can see, this bush has already been topped off here, but we got a new node right there, a little tiny one. Bring you in so you can see it. If I can get it to focus. I gotta always put my hand back there and then it focuses, you guys. So there's a little red node right there on the branch, as you can see. That's going to create kind of like what you would call that central leader on the bush. And I have another one right here. It's all blurry again. I have another one right there on this one. And I have on this elderberry, I have these 2 main trunk areas, I guess you could call it, with branches coming off of them. And like I said before, most of the pruning that I did last year was leaving the healthiest pot. Like this one only developed like 2 nodes on this branch, and so this was a berry cluster right here that came off of this part. So that kind of determined some of the very shorter branches. But I noticed that last year some of the branches weren't very established, and that actually kind of led to some of the branches needing to be braced with stakes when it had the blossoms turning into the berries, and the berries would kind of pull on the branches a little bit. So I figured it would be better if I trimmed them back to 3 to 4 nodes. Like, for example, this branch is a little bit long, and so next year I noticed I have 3 nodes back here. So I've got right here, I've got a node here where I'm pointing. Then I have another node and another node. And depending on the growth this year, I might cut it back to here and leave these ones and allow these branches to grow. This year, of course, I'm gonna have some new branching. So I'll probably take it back to here and root this for another plant. Because the bush is going to continually get bushier and bushier every year, and because I'm keeping it in a container, I want it to kind of stay a little bit more compact and just kind of keep it shaped more. And so I'm noticing a lot of new growth this year already. I am so excited. But yes, we've already got the beginnings of our blossoms, you guys. You see that little cluster right there? Those are flower clusters. And every little section at the tips of the branches, those all have little flowers in them, even these ones. So all the way down the branch, I've got flower clusters. So I'm gonna have quite a few flower clusters, but also by pruning it back real far, especially if you're growing in a container, you guys, in your yard for your elderberries, I think it's kind of wise to do that so that you don't have to necessarily stake your plant up. Once you have some really good branches like I have here established, it's really nice to just keep them trimmed back. I'll probably take some length off of this branch too on this one next year, and kind of keep those branches just a tad bit shorter, you guys, because like I said, I want to keep it trimmed back. So I'll let it do its growth this year, and in the fall I'll bring you guys back with me when I get ready to prune this in the fall. So I may make some different decisions based on how the plant grows this year. As to what I'm saying right now, my mind might change on where I want to prune things back to. Height wise, I'm cool with it getting taller, but I do want to kind of keep it in about the width that I have it at right now, and I don't want it to get too bushier because it can get just as wide as it can get tall. So you have to keep that in mind too. And I kind of like how far it's coming out from the pot. I can allow it to come a little bit further out, but then when we get ready to move, and since I'm growing them all in containers, then it can become possibly problematic, and I could get some breakage and stuff, and I kind of want to have minimal breakage as possible. So by keeping the branches at a shorter consistency, not only does it ensure that I don't have to stake my elderberry when the blossoms become berries, but it kind of just ensures a nice strong plant anyways, because I've noticed with the elderberries that the trunk area, I guess you could call it, the main stems coming up out of the ground from the roots, I'm noticing that those branches have gotten thicker since last year a little bit, which would make me think that the branches on the rest of it will get a little bit thicker too. So the stronger of a structure that I have going on, the better, the more success I will have with my berries and developing and not breaking my limbs. And so for me, that's key for now, and I'm really happy with the fact that I'm going to get about 20 this year on this plant, and we'll go from there. Now down here, I went ahead and I removed the elderberry that I had planted out in the front yard, and it's right here. I had it in my flower bed, and I kept almost always stepping on it, you guys, every time I'd go out to check on the plants and stuff. So I moved it here, and I have thunderclouds. I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, and I think that other elderberry that's in the greenhouse, I think it's also a thundercloud because it has the same color as this one right here with the green, with the darkening. So I think I have a total of 8 thunderclouds. I'm going to go ahead and keep them for myself and put them into some bigger pots later in the season, and have that way I can have more elderberries. And now I also went ahead and decided to bring my other elderberry that I had planted out in the front too, because my hose kept knocking on it, and I don't want that. So that is looking really good. I've got some nice side shoots coming up from underneath. When I pulled it up, I could see the new shoots, and so I'll have new branching coming up from the root system. And because, you put those nodes down in the ground, which are the same nodes that are right here, so I've got 2 roots coming up on either side down under the ground, and then the roots have formed. So I'm really excited about that. But this is the alesso. I have, wanted to say, 2 more alessos out in the greenhouse, and then I have this one here. So that'll be a total of 4 alessos, and I'm happy with that since I've got about 8 of the thunderclouds. And I kind of prefer the thundercloud flowers because I just love pink. And but the white is also really nice. I'll eventually have more elderberries in my garden when we get to our forever home for our gooseberry homestead. I will definitely be I will be collecting more gooseberries of different varieties. I will be collecting more elderberries of different varieties. And in fact, you never know, I might end up getting another one at the box store this year. They do have the lace varieties to the thundercloud and the alesso, and they kind of look the same, except for the leaves are lacy. So I may end up getting those with some of the money this year, and then having those. So I may end up selling some of these other starts that I've started anyways. But But that's the only way I would get rid of my other ones is if I have some other varieties to, trade them out for. So on this one, I do have some clusters of flowers developing inside already. I've got one cluster here. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of leaves here, but it's down in the center here. And I don't know if you can see, but it's down in there. They're a white one, but there's one on each one of these branches here. And I suspect that I'll have 2 here, 2 here. It's blurry again, sorry about that. 2 here, and about 2 in every spot. I'm also really, really excited about these sections here. I have a feeling these are going to create new branches coming up. So it looks like I may end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 new stem areas coming up on this alesso. And that's going to help it branch out like my thundercloud. And so I'm really excited about that. I also have a new growth right here, which I didn't see earlier in the season. So this is a new bud that has formed. And even I could get some stuff coming up from underneath the ground too. So we'll just be keeping an eye on that and watching it grow this year, you guys. I'm really excited. I kept the strongest branch from my alesso last year. My alesso was pretty full last year, but it didn't think that I had to brace it a lot with stakes because the branch did not seem very strong to me. And I wanted it to focus on making some stronger branches. And this side branch was a new side branch last year on this elderberry. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how thick a branch can get in a season. So I'm expecting my alesso to have some nice thick branches this year. And I'm really excited, you guys. Really, really excited. So I was going to do some stuff out in the greenhouse. Maybe I'll go ahead and make a video for tomorrow in the greenhouse today since it's so nice and there's nobody outside and I love that. So anyways, you guys, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that bell button. And as always, have a wonderful day, you guys, and God bless. Bye.